Too nice of a day to be in here fooling with this video. I need to be outside getting other stuff done, but I've been procrastinating on this for a while, so I need to get started at it and hopefully get it finished. Sometime last winter, the guys from Fish and Game called and said they wanted me to fly this season and wanted to start on the 9th of April. So we got some mechanics to come down and do the annual on the airplane, got the airplane all ready to go, and then dug the trailer out of the snowbank and got it fixed up and got it ready. And then the day before this, on April 7th, we got the airplane out of the hangar and put on the trailer. So this day that we're launching the airplane is April 8th. Now the weather was good on April 7th. It was forecast to turn off to snow and blow 40 miles an hour on the 8th. I figured I'd have a window in the morning to get the airplane launched and get it down on the dock. So we left the airplane out and get ready to go at 5 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning. Well, it turned out that was the case. The weather was real nice in the morning. We did have a little bit of snow spitting, and it froze hard the night before. I knew it was going to freeze hard, so I put the wing covers on the airplane and an engine cover on, a heater in the engine so it would be easier to start. I didn't put the windshield cover on because the windshield cover has a tendency to abrade the plastic on the windshield, and if the wind came up, that would be the case. I'd come to regret this later. We got up at 5 o'clock to start getting the airplane ready. Wanted to get it on the road by 6 before the traffic hit. And when we got out and started getting ready to record, the batteries on the cameras were all dead. So I didn't want to take the time to fool with them, so we just went ahead and put the airplane down on the highway and launched it. Well, I dug out some old footage from 2015 of the last time we launched the airplane before I replaced the fuselage on it, and I'm going to put this in to start with. Basically, everything's pretty much the same, except we didn't have near as much help. It was just my wife, my son, and I, and there was a lot of snow around. The flowers weren't blooming yet. They were still covered with snow, but everything else is pretty much the same. Well, I get to try out my new microphone here for voiceovers. My son got me this for Christmas. It's a Yeti Blue, and so far it seems like it's a lot better than the old microphone that I had. The launch this time of this video was done in June. We did it about 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to get it before the traffic hit. Of course, there was a little bit more traffic that time of the year because we have our summer traffic starting then, but it was a lot more daylight at that time of the morning than it was at 5 o'clock on the 8th of April this year. Well, we got the pickup hooked up to the airplane, the trailer, and we're going to start heading down the highway. It's about a little over a mile from a house here where we keep the airplane in the wintertime to the boat launch ramp. And most of it's down the highway, and then we go down a side road to get to the boat launch ramp. So everything went good. We didn't heat any traffic, and we were able to go about 20-25 miles an hour or so. So it didn't take very long. There, we're headed down the side road here now to the boat launch ramp. Now, the rest of this now is from this year's launch. My wife got down to the boat launch ramp ahead of us as the lead pilot car and stopped and was able to do some video recording on her phone. She didn't get very much of it because there was only the three of us to do it, so she didn't have the time to stand around and videotape like she did if we have a lot of help, but she did a pretty good job. And we load the airplane on the trailer sideways for going down the highway because it's a lot shorter than it is wide. It's a little over 36 feet wide from wingtip to wingtip, and it's only about 28 feet, actually 24 feet long from nose to tail. So it goes down the highway a lot better. Actually, the highway is fine. The wings clear all the signs and stuff like that. But going up the side road from Papke's Landing here up to the main highway and then up our driveway is a lot better if the airplane's turned sideways. We get it down here to the boat launch ramp, and we'll take the tie downs off of it and spin it around so that it is lined up with the trailer, and then back it down into the water to launch it. We have these plastic sheets that we put the airplane on. Makes it a lot easier to spin it around on. They're fairly slippery. They come on pallets that, like for dog food or loose bags and stuff, so that bags don't fall through the bottoms of the pallets. And it makes it a lot easier. Just the two of us can spin the airplane around here without too much trouble and move it. You can see it's spitting a little bit of snow, a little squall going by, but there's pretty good ceiling and visibility, and the wind is just about flat calm out here, so it's no problem yet for getting the airplane launched and getting it to town. It was a minus tide when we launched the airplane on this day, and so we had to go a long ways down the ramp to get it in the water. I think we actually run off the end of the ramp a little bit, but we got it out there without any problem. I started taxiing out. The tide was low, so we could see the channel. Visibility was pretty good, but I didn't have any visibility through the windshield. This is where I regretted not putting the windshield cover on the night before. I had to look out the side to see where I was going. I had the defroster on, but the defroster only works when the air is flowing over the engine at a little higher speed. It's kind of forced air. There's no fan or anything in there. So at idle like this, the prop blast with the cold air actually freezes the windshield faster than the defroster can thaw it out. Once I got out in the water, got the airplane warmed up, got ready to take off, I ran into a little bit of a problem. The mechanic, when he was here for the annual, had worked on the throttle cable so we could get full throttle travel on the carburetor. But the throttle cable came unattached or loosened from its anchor point back behind the instrument panel, and I wasn't getting full throttle travel. I could barely get any out of it. I wound up getting enough that I could get in the air, step taxi until the ice sublimated off the windshield, and then get in the air, and I flew on into town, got the airplane up on the ramp, and then the weather turned crap, got a snowstorm, snowed about 4 inches in a half an hour, wind picked up to about 30-40 miles an hour. So we made it into town just in time. We'll get the airplane up on the ramp and all tied down before the weather broke loose on us and got nasty. Went ahead and went home and had some breakfast and was going to go down and fix the airplane. But Fish and Game called just after that and canceled the flight for the next day. So I waited until Friday the 9th, went down and worked on the airplane, got the throttle cable all anchored up and checked everything else out. I'm going to go ahead and do a run up here and make sure it's all perfectly fine, everything is working the way it's supposed to, and then take it for a test flight. And everything turned out just the way it's supposed to. It flies beautifully and the throttle works just the way it's supposed to. So went ahead and parked the airplane back on the ramp, and we waited and did our first flight on the 15th.
Whoa.
I shut the engine off with the magneto switches instead of pulling the mixture. That's the reason it ran backwards a little bit. Wanted to make sure the magnetos were grounding out properly.
Couldn't see it. Oh, yeah. That is really bright.
Well, it seems like it's okay. I guess I have to go fly it and try it.